Okay. Okay. So there's a couple. I think Derek's gonna join us later.
Okay.
Um, did anybody, Steve, this won't be for you, but did anybody see the Kellogg training yesterday?
No.
No,
No? Milo?
no.
Okay. Um, did you guys get the emails or did you and just are you I'm just making sure you're getting those.
I don't know. I get so many emails.
Okay.
Let me check and see if I got it.
Yeah, there's a lot of emails to go through, but I
Okay.
can check as well.
Okay. So they just so um, they have a meeting every Monday and you know, Monday 9 o'clock Pacific, and they go over a variety of things. The week before was I don't know, it was about kind of motivation kind of thing. But this week's was about compliance. Um, and so they kind of went over the kind of the new roles and everything. So I'll take a little bit of time to talk about that today. However, I was on it, but I can't I didn't I was hoping that they would and this is another good point too. You can go back to their here, let me share my screen. You can go back into on the Kellogg website and have view past uh, meetings. And so if you go to, here, let me go to homepage. So if you go into Kellogg and you log in, you'll see your thing. You scroll down, you'll see Monday morning meetings. And so this was yesterday's, and it's not uploaded yet. If it'd look like this, where you could link it. So I was hoping they'd have it updated and so I could go in there and kind of review it because I didn't take really good notes on it. But um, there are some things that I do want to go over though. So first of all, and this is kind of towards Liz, um, the anything with the word Medicare in it, an email, website, probably should be removed and not be used because they don't want to give the impression that um, it's that you're trying to say that you're a Medicare employee or representative, right? So that was a main that was something that they talked about and suggested that you get those changed and removed.
And that needs to be done like ASAP.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
That was the other thing was they were kind of they're that I think they said September 30th, but as soon as you could probably be
Okay.
best, right?
if I can ask a question, wherever we've had anything relating to Medicare, so they know that we're doing something with that, they've always had disclaimers in there that we're supposed to be there. Is that no longer valid? We don't say Medicare at all. How do we convey what we're
Yeah,
doing even?
that's a good question. I was getting there. Um, so when we're doing flyers and you're sending out flyers for your events, you can use the Medicare card, but you need to get it approved. So they gave us an email to send it to, and I have sent one in. I sent one in yesterday to see just kind of how long it would take, whether or not it get approved or not. So I used an old flyer that had like the Medicare card on there, and the well, just I can email it to you later. It's marketing@cms.hhs.gov, but I can send it to you later. And you can send your flyers to that and ask them to see if you can use the card, which I did on one. Um, The issue with that is that would only approve for that one flyer. So if you changed your flyer to like a different, now it's got a different restaurant on there, do you have to do it again? I think so. So you might have to send it. So if you want to have one flyer, which that's kind of how I do my things, I just do one flyer and then just kind of, change the dates, times, and whatnot on it. It's got the disclaimers on there. But if you guys are changing your flyer more regularly, you might have to get it approved each time. Otherwise, you can just say Medicare, like Medicare Lunch and Learn is okay. You still need that disclaimer, not affiliated with, Medicare or federal program, whatever that is. And you can find that disclaimer on the Kellogg website too. I'm just not exactly sure where they are, but
Can I ask a question?
probably compliance. Yeah, go Liz.
When you sent that, did they get back to you right away?
No, I haven't. I sent it yesterday, and so that's my thing.
Oh,
Is
okay.
I'm gonna see how it how long it takes and whatnot. Right.
And as far as you know, it would be okay to change the date on the flyer, but nothing else.
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
Right. Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah, it sounds like to manage that, we're gonna have to get very generic because that approval process could be a problem.
Yeah, so it might take it, maybe it's quick and easy. I don't know. So we'll probably just kind of see how it goes. But I mean it is encouraging that hey, if we can get the card, so it's not a definite no on that. So
So is that only for the card or is that for
yeah,
any mention of Medicare?
it's just for the card.
Okay,
Now you can't
so if we
be
don't use that, then we don't have to go through all this.
right. You could just put
Good.
Medicare on there. It's okay to
Okay,
just say Medicare, Lunch and Learn or something like that. Um, you can say Medicare Advantage plans, Medicare supplement plans, Medicare plans. You can say all that stuff um, on that too. You couldn't say Medicare representative, Medicare specialist, Medicare expert, Medicare professor, those types of things. So,
those you
um,
cannot.
right,
Good,
right.
okay.
So that
So
could,
on my website, I say just on the homepage, it says I can help you with Medicare.
I think that'd be okay.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
thanks.
But, if you want to make sure, send it to Heidi, let her look at it. She'll be able to tell you for sure. So
Okay.
Heidi, for those that don't know, is the compliance department director at Kellogg. And I sent her, Regina and I are working on a newspaper ad and I sent it to her yesterday and she got right back to me in the afternoon. So, she's pretty responsive. She gets it back pretty quick. And how long Medicare takes, I don't know, right? But we'll see. So I wanted to throw that out there just to see kind of just how long it would take. Maybe it won't take very long, but maybe who knows, right? So we'll have to just kind of hopefully figure that out and go from there. Of course, some other compliance things is that the scope needs to be done the 48 hours, right? Kind of gone over that. And you can't market now dental, vision, and hearing specifically because that could be considered a bait and switch. I've never done those really. Maybe a few long time ago we used to do those. I never really liked doing it that way though. So and I don't think any of you guys do it either. So just keep that in mind as well. Let's see, is there anything else in here? She did mention, I found it kind of weird. She mentioned that, so it sounded like the call centers were not being held to the 48-hour thing. And I think that was, uh, which I felt was kind of unfair, um, but I think it's kind of like when you go to a kiosk and if they come up to you, if you're in a retail location, they come up to you and you can sell them a policy right there. You don't need to wait 48 hours because they're coming up to you, right? So I think that's the philosophy on that. But we still have the 48 hours otherwise, any kind of lead given thing. So,
But she did verify that if someone calls us and wants to talk that day, they don't need the 48 hours. She said that to me in an email.
so if they call you, she did talk about that. If they call you, you can talk to them, but if you're gonna, it needs to be recorded, but you probably, if you're gonna set up an appointment, then I still think it needs to be the 48 hours. But we could ask for clarification on that.
Okay.
Just to make sure. Because they would be calling you, which is fine, right? You wouldn't need the scope right there. You would need to say all your compliance, things. But what you could also do is, if you're going to set up an appointment, right, a one-on-one, then I think it has to be, you send the scope out and it has to be 40 hours. I think that's how what she said.
So the call centers don't set up appointments. They just
All right.
okay.
That
That
seems
seems an unfair competitive advantage.
right. That's what I was
Very unfair.
Well, plus they're the ones that all these rules are for
right.
or because of.
Right. Yeah.
Are they paying somebody under the table to exempt themselves?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'll have to rewatch the thing just to kind of maybe go through because I don't all this stuff is very specific, so I just wanted to make sure that
So can
I
I
might
just
have to go
label
through there
myself
and make
a
sure I
call-
was hearing it right. What was that, Steve?
Can I just label myself a call center and circumvent the 48-hour rule?
Yeah, no,
I mean,
unfortunately.
seriously, I'm just
Yeah,
that this doesn't seem quite not consistent.
yep. Something else I wanted to go over. Oh, so this was another confusing thing.
Hmm.
On the one of the disclaimers is in regards to your service area and how many plans you represent, right? And so they said that they're saying, okay, well, you want to do your resident state, like if you're in multiple, like Liz, you're in California and some other states, right? Do you have to put all your states in there and whatnot? And they said no, just kind of use your resident state. Although if you're calling somebody and you that's out of state, then you would want to use that as your state. And so that you'd want to use the counties that you're in, how many carriers you have, and how many plans that they offer, right? Then the other part of this is you also have to do that for PDPs. So, and I didn't really get a ton of clarification on this, but to me, it sounded like they were saying yes, PDP. So essentially, if it's Oregon, PDPs are statewide, right? Every county in Oregon. And so you would have to say, well, I represent this many carriers and if you do it by specific county, then that would be count up the plans that you represent in that county, and put that on there. But for like your website, you would do it for your residential state, and that would be including PDPs. That'd be over like 40, probably 50 plans. So, so there was that too. That was that we're gonna have to adhere to, which was
So have any of the insurance companies said like that maybe they could give us numbers so we don't have to figure out all that counting ourselves? You know what I
no.
mean?
Yeah, I do. No, but I think what you could do, what I've been kind of focusing on is going into Medicare Center, putting in, a zip code for that county, and then calculating the plans up that way. And it gives you,
So we have to put in every zip code in the state, or
no, just, I would say, just like so let's go in there. So let's just go in the Medicare Center, and you go in the Medicare app. And just, you wouldn't do the whole state, you can't do each zip code.
or you could just do one zip code for each county. Like, could I just do Washington, Multnomah, and Clackamas? God.
Yeah,
This is
it's
insane.
confusing, I know. And then of course, the one thing about Medicare Center, doesn't have all the plans, so you gotta do your own non-licensed plans, because this is only Kellogg's thing. And then you could, so essentially, it's got roughly 78 plans, right? Because it's got the Medicare only, the Advantage only is the PDPs. You could probably take the Medicare supplement plans out for that as well. So yeah, we might want to just use like 75 plans are available. So oh, and it also went from 0 to 75. So if there was a county that didn't have any plans, maybe I think every county except maybe Clatsop maybe doesn't have, you could maybe, but again, PDPs are statewide. So, you have at least 24 plans. We might not offer all those. We don't offer, you may not offer Clear Springs, or so you could probably take those plans out, or Elexir, those plans. So yeah. So it's kind of, yeah, I think just try to do your best, right? Hey, again, this isn't gonna, the likelihood of somebody coming forward and saying, whoa, Liz said that she had 78 plans and they only really had 72, right? I mean, just try to do your best on it. I don't, it would only come up if you have like a complaint, right? And I don't know why they would, complain about that, but so
And if when we do this, so when we do this counting, then we're actually counting for 2023, because we don't have the 2024 numbers yet.
right.
I might actually send emails to the companies and see if they'll give me numbers, and if they do, I'll share.
Okay, yeah, and then I don't know though, would they also include their institutional plans, right? Which you can't sell, so
Oh, yeah.
you might want to make sure, be specific on it.
Okay.
But yeah, so so a lot of compliance stuff that was yesterday. So I'd encourage you guys to look at try to see those emails come through, and just know that they have that meeting every Monday at 9. And there's usually some good stuff. Sometimes not. I mean, you can choose to join them or not, but and then maybe go back in there again and look at the once they have it posted on there. maybe go in and watch that. Because to tell you the honest truth, I didn't take really good notes and I may have missed something. It's very easy to do because, it's the stuff is kind of specific. And so if they said, maybe I didn't hear it correctly or something. So, but yeah, so a lot of stuff on that. There was some other stuff too. I think pretty much, there's like no door knocking. It wasn't anything that was too uncommon from what we're used to doing. So any questions on that? I know it's a little vague and stuff, not real specific, but no? Okay. Yeah, so there's a quite of that stuff that's coming through. Which is unfortunate. But it is what it is. So we just move forward. I think a lot of this stuff will calm down, hopefully, in the next year or two. Hopefully if they can get the complaints down and whatnot, it should work a little bit better. And maybe they relax some of the rules, but if just moving forward, you don't want to be misleading, don't try to, anything that would possibly suggest that you might be a Medicare representative, don't, avoid using that. And then when you're just doing your appointments, just make sure that you just say, hey, I don't have any availability until the next, till 3 days from now, or, 2 days from now, something like that. There is that one provision that if it's within the last 4 days of an enrollment period expiring, then you don't need to capture the scope and you don't have to wait 48 hours. So there are those rules too. So, and of course, if they walk in to your office, which, none of us really have an office for that to happen, but, that could be too as well. And they went over the educational events too, where, you can't, you're not allowed to have like the appointment right afterwards. It's got to be 12 hours later if you're staying in the same venue, right? So I think we've all seen those out there and stuff. So just, kind of keep that in mind as well. Okay.
Hey, Kyle, I thought there was something with 12 hours. We could meet them 12 hours after
Yeah,
the meeting.
Didn't I just say that? What did I say?
Okay. I thought you said 24.
Oh, no, 12 hours if it's within the same in the same building and stuff, at least 12 hours after that original event.
Okay.
So yeah. But if you're gonna have to get a scope and it's 48 hours, I don't know how you're gonna do that 12 hours anyways. So but you can't get the scope from the educational event. You'd have to get it, you have to get that afterwards. They have to reach out to you, then you get the scope. So it's going to be hard to do a sales meeting after an educational event.
How come they would say we could meet with them 12 hours later if we have to wait 24 on the scope?
I think you can have like a sales event 12 hours after an educational event in the same building. So you could have a sales event planned. You could tell them you can come to the sales event, which I think at that point you could probably collect a scope.
So even in a sales event, you can't meet with them directly after?
No, you can.
Okay. I'm still a little confused, but I'll get it straight.
Yeah, so it is kind of confusing. So yeah, I recommend that you go in, and once it gets listed in the uploaded on the Kellogg website, go in and watch it yourself. Like I said, I probably missed a few things doing it's down here. And once it's blue and got a link, you can click on it and watch it. So I encourage you all to do that. that's what I'm gonna do. Cause I need to go through it again and make sure I get it right, so. Okay, let me just go through here real quick and see if there's anything that jogs my memory. Okay. Okay, so Milo, how do we do with the pharmacist? Where we stand on that? Did you go down and
No, I
What?
haven't had any time to go out at all yet. I've been
Oh,
completely filled up. But what I just did is I got access into the marketplace so I can start the training now. I had to call like 4 different what is it, customer service lines, and so much troubleshooting, but I finally broke through it, and I just did the final step like right now, so I'm able to get into the training now.
was that through I think because doesn't was that on Kellogg's site? Did
No,
they have it?
not at all. It's through well, I think I started there,
Okay.
but none of it was through them. Most of it they directed to a different
Okay.
website,
Okay.
and then I went there, and then I went on I have this PDF that's been guiding me where to go, and the process has been through cms.gov.
So,
Okay.
sorry to interrupt, is there support through Kellogg for the marketplace?
I know there at least is for
Blue Cross?
ACA, but I don't know if there is through general marketplace.
Okay,
Yeah, the marketplace is a little it's got its own entity, I think. And so
Yeah.
you gotta do their own training and stuff. You gotta train for it. And the marketplace again is for people who may qualify based on their income for that tax credit, right? And then if you certify through the marketplace, you're able to sell those plans to those people.
is there a way
Other
you can an upline in the marketplace, Kyle? Because it's not Medicare stuff. And when I tried it, it was just so screwed up because I did it the first 2 years. But I think they've improved it quite a bit.
So you can also go through the carriers directly. So if you have somebody that, doesn't qualify for the marketplace, right? You can just do like Regents or Providence or Kaiser.
I already got a list of the vital ones to go through. I talked to somebody who actively does marketplace, and they kind of guided me through the process is pretty much the same as Medicare, where you have like your own AHIP type thing, and then you broker through each company. Then there's a list of around 5 different companies that you want that are competitive. Yeah.
What
at
were
least.
those companies?
I have give me like 1 minute. I have the list. I'll just have to take it out.
Oda and Providence have been pretty competitive.
That's
and then
2 of them.
is good with individual plans, but outside
I've got the
the
list.
market-
I've got the list. Give me a second.
Yeah, and so the marketplace, you can get that tax credit, so it would maybe reduce it down to maybe 0 or some reduction on it. But you could also just, if they don't qualify for the tax credit, you might as well just go through the carrier and do it that way. And so you can just do the
Okay.
individual plan now.
It's Pacific Source, Regents, Kaiser, Providence, and Moda.
Okay.
So,
I
Steve,
do know that the Providence is a separate contract that you need to contract through. So, Milo, if you need that, do that through Guided Medicare
Okay.
Solutions.
Steve, just for your information, the marketplace is not Medicare. And we often run into people where the husband works and is about to retire, is 65.
It's for all ages.
The wife stays at home. And when he retires, the wife loses group coverage.
Right.
So Cobra is way expensive, and depending on income, we can at this point, what I'm going to do is give everyone I meet in that situation to Milo, and he can go and enroll the wife or the husband, whoever does not have is not eligible for Medicare yet. They help he can help them get into the marketplace, have an individual policy that's subsidized based on income, or pay it all directly through the company. And then that will protect our Medicare business as well, because then there's not another agent in there trying to take away the Medicare. So that's
Got it.
kind of what we do.
Okay.
So Milo, when do you plan on hitting the pharmacy down there?
I'm not sure. I've been thinking about it, but my
Okay.
priority, especially with this marketplace, we have an appointment coming up in less than 2 weeks, and I need to certify and at least broker for one of the companies to present to them. So I'm really trying to do this as soon as possible so I'm prepared for it.
Okay.
So that's my priority right now, but I was thinking about in the past couple days when I could fit it in. I'm not sure yet, because I'd have to drive out for
Well,
an hour or
why
something.
don't we do this? You can try to get it done in the next 2 weeks, and then if you can't, could Steve and I go take care of that and try to get them
Care of it how?
go
You're not-
talk to the owner and say, hey, can we do a thing with your clients? Do the same program you're trying to do. But if you can't
What?
find, I'm glad to.
What do you mean? You don't have marketplace?
No, I'm talking about the pharmacist.
Oh,
That-
no, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
So, what was the event that you guys had? The WellCare booth where you're at? Tell me
So
about that. Tell me how it went, how you got it. What was,
I've been trying to cultivate a relationship with Julia, because I think they're going to hit Lane County very hard this year. And so when she asks me to do these little things that in the past I haven't, I've been accepting. So she got married and is on her honeymoon, and she usually does this booth every year at the Campbell Center. And she said, Derek, will you do this for me? And I said, sure. So Milo and I went over there. We met about 9 o'clock there. We set up the booth, and then we went around and met all of the booth makers. And then when the seniors came through, we passed out flyers to our,
was it a senior expo or something, or?
yeah, the Campbell Center is a senior rec center.
Oh, okay.
And every year they do this event fair that shows
Okay.
is offered to seniors. So there's short-term care,
Right,
living,
right.
yeah, everything associated with that kind of thing. And
It went well?
what do you think, Milo?
I think it went really well. I think there's a lot of opportunities that we could probably jump in and take.
Great.
I think so, for sure.
So you filled the pipeline for AEP? Is that,
That what
Possible.
what do you mean?
did you get some leads for AEP, or did you get any leads out of it?
Yeah, we got a couple of invites to the Lunch and Learns. Also, I'm holding this card right now that I wrote on the back. They have a group like meetup thing, where there's people from different businesses,
Okay,
and they all kind of introduce themselves in a group and give leads to each other.
Hmm.
Kind of it's one of
Sure.
those things.
yeah.
So that might be something to check out as well.
And then we got 5 people or 6 people to fill out. I would like more information about Medicare
Yeah.
card.
Okay.
So we'll call those and see if we can get something during AEP.
So with the AEP, with like the retail stuff, it's looking pretty pretty slim. I know you guys got the Walgreens down there, but there's I think the Safeway in King City. And then Liz, if you're interested in that, reach out to Kathy. But so it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of retail locations. So one of the things that Greg said last week in his meeting was to emphasize doing the Medicare changes presentation when she's updating for 2024. And so doing these like educational events might be the best way. So just try to get, maybe just focus on maybe trying to get as many events as you can. Maybe this Campbell place, get one or two events there and whatnot. So maybe focus on that for AP, since we can for leads. Now, the one other thing I want to talk about was there's a carrier coming into Portland and Lane County.
Atrio.
Yep, Atrio's coming in.
Yeah,
And
we saw a booth there.
Yeah, okay. I talked to Brad. Brad used to work with WellCare. He was their person. He switched over to a Trio now. And I talked to him on the phone about their plan. They have a pretty decent plan. In the Portland area, the network is going to be Legacy and OHSU though. So it's very much like, a lot of the other ones, right? So the differentiators, I guess, are, so first of all, they're a little bit local. They're actually owned by a hedge fund over in Chicago, and they put a bunch of money into Trio, and that's why they've expanded and everything. But they do have a local presence, especially they were founded down south, down in Southern Oregon. They have plans up through the I-5 corridor now, and they're expanding up here. The difference is they'll have a like a flex card, if you will. It's a Visa card that you can do dental. So there's no dental network. You have an allotment on there, like $2,000, I think he said. And you can use however you want it. It's basically cash on demand. So it works a little bit like the U card. There's one card that controls everything, and they got separate buckets for everything. So the OTC is on there as well. He didn't know the exact amount on it. Doesn't roll over, so it's a use or lose. You can use it at stores or do online.
Sounds like a really strong selling point, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
on paper, it looks really strong.
On paper.
It looks really strong on paper. I think it's going to be somebody we have to have in our quiver.
okay, so that was kind of the reason I brought it up. So we can do that. Kellogg does offer it. I think they offer it through that Senior Choice Northwest up in Wilsonville. So I will go ahead and start the contracting on that, and we'll have to get certified and whatnot. I asked him about that. It didn't seem like it was too difficult. He hadn't certified though, because they're not requiring him to do it. But from what he had heard, it wasn't very difficult to get through. So we will have to do that, and they do take the AHIP and whatnot for that. So yeah, I think they might be strong. I know they're also like in Douglas County and some other counties that you could probably use it at. They're in I'm not exactly sure how many counties they're in. I know they're in Salem, and they'll be in Yamhill too. This coming Portland, like the tri counties, and then Yamhill as well for that. So yeah, I just wanted to get some feedback, see if you guys were interested in it. It sounds like you are. So I'll get that going. and, but you can also just go on the Kellogg website. I probably have to contract first, but we can, in order to expedite everything, I think you can just go in there and just hit the contracting link. Here, I'll show you where that's at. Would that help?
Yeah, that would help.
Okay, so Kellogg, you hit their contracting page. And then the trio's right here.
Okay.
You click on that. And answer, I'm not currently contracted. I'm only as a, I'm not, we don't contract as the agency.
We
We're
don't?
not, we could, but it doesn't, yeah, I don't want them paying, only if they, I don't want to pay you guys, right? You just want to,
So when I do that, because my business is a corporation, do I still just say agent and then
I
just,
think so, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
that always confuses me.
yeah.
The main reason I think is because you don't want to have to cut us checks.
Right, I don't want to have to pay you, so,
Have you asked them if they would cut the check to the writing agent if the agency was Senior Advocate Services?
I haven't,
Sometimes they do that. Blue Cross does that, I think.
do they?
But anyway,
So then you get a contracting link. So, yeah, so you can just go ahead and get that started now. And, I've got, I'll do
You
mine.
should open that right now and do it.
And, well, I don't know if I got it yet.
I think he was talking to me.
Yeah, I haven't
was.
got it. So, but yeah, just do that, set 24 hours. So probably get tomorrow and then I can start in on that. And then, you'll get, the certification on it and stuff. They, do have like a localized customer service. And of course, the other advantage is, you can reach out to Brad, he's somebody that, we've kind of worked with. I don't know if you guys have worked with them specifically, but I've worked with them. And so
What is his last name?
Brad Sweet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you also want to see the other, if you just go back to the contracting, if you click that and then you just keep scrolling down, you can see the under 65 carriers.
Yeah,
It shows a list right
yeah,
there.
the ACA stuff.
It's just right at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question about the ACA?
Sure.
So that, and none of those are in our area that I know of. Anyway,
Yeah, not very many.
so Milo, have you actually completed the training? Or are you still working on it?
No, it was a struggle to even get in. But I finally did.
I completed the training last year. I think I'm certified, but I'm still like incredibly confused about some of the things like you're supposed to do, or like at one point it made it seem like you have to have a contract with you have to offer every single thing on the marketplace.
You don't.
Okay.
I know that.
Okay.
I've talked with some people who are already in it, and they definitely, the way they talked about it, like, oh, you probably want to get this. Like, they definitely didn't insinuate that you needed them all.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
but
do
there's
we
some
have
that are.
anyone that's actually, so they were talking about how you need to have a certain form that they fill out, which I don't know if that's available through Kellogg. Is there anyone that's with Senior Advocate Services that has done a lot of marketplace, or are we just
don't-
sort of
In the
okay.
past, I think
Tiffany has. I don't know if she's done a lot, but I know she's done some stuff. But
I have found some resources for information though recently.
Oh, I would love to. Can you send those to
Yeah,
Kyle, or just put them in
let
the
me see if
chat?
I can pull them up right now and find links for that
Thank
in a
you.
second. Yeah.
so while he is doing that, I know Liz said she's coming. Are you guys coming to the barbecue on the 20th?
Yeah.
Okay. Steve, you coming?
I'd like to, but I don't think I'll be able to make that.
Okay. Derek?
Breaks 3. How long is that event?
I mean, there's really not an hour anything, it could be
Okay.
as long.
Yeah, I'll see if I can make that. I would like to be there.
Okay,
We'll see if we can do that. I'll let you know.
perfect.
Thank you, Milo.
Of course. Yeah, that's an intro thing, and I'm trying to find there's another website. I think it was Kellogg that linked me to that other website. Let me try to find that as well.
Are you, Liz, since you've been doing it, have you ran into anybody that does that needs the marketplace?
Well, no, but I haven't really worked at it very hard. I think I probably
Right.
could scare people up, but I do have a client who doesn't qualify for the marketplace.
Yeah,
So I just finished I got certified to do the Providence individual, so I'll be able to enroll her. And then I also sent an email to Kaiser. They gave me the place to go to get certified to do individual. Because I do think I know a lot of people personally who aren't aware of the marketplace and how inexpensive it can be if you have the subsidies.
Yeah, there's a
Right.
lot that could happen with it. I sent the other link. It's kind of like a center for a bunch of resources.
Oh, perfect.
Um,
Got it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
there's a whole lot there that you can look through.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
yeah, I haven't really come across too much. I have come across a few people that, spouse who were there, and I've sent them quotes for like Providence or Regents and stuff. And I don't think I've signed anybody up. A lot of people either choose not to, if you don't qualify for the tax credit, it's really expensive. I mean, we're talking $800 a month for like a $8,000 deductible
Oh yeah, they're
plan.
terrible
Yeah.
plans.
Yeah, so I don't really do too much on it.
But I
But
have had a few in the past. Like I've probably
yeah,
had 5 people in the past
okay,
who it was that thing where someone was retiring and the spouse needed insurance for a certain amount of time, and
right,
I wasn't certified, and if I had been, I would have been able to, hold on to them. So, and I
okay.
actually had
And then
a
it helps secure a relationship. Sorry.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
exactly.
for sure. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
And I had someone last year that I advised but wasn't certified, and so she signed up for a Providence Marketplace plan, but I didn't get any credit for it. So
okay,
I
right,
think
sure.
it's a good thing to have.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. And if I'll send stuff to you. It's good that I know that now because if I could send if I come across somebody else, I'll try to send them to you or
Thanks.
whatnot. So, yeah, good on that. Um, how are you guys doing on certifications? I know most of you have your United Healthcare, but what
I've
about
done I've done everything that I can.
okay,
So I'm waiting on, I think, Pacific Source
which
and
is later
Kaiser.
this like next week or something,
And
right?
Kaiser, have we heard anything about Kaiser?
She sent out something that's coming. It wasn't a date yet, but she said it'll be there soon. So
Okay. Oh, and then Care Oregon, right? That's something you
usually
have to
in
go to.
September, yeah.
So
Derek,
none
how
of
are
it. I
you
mean, it was
doing?
all pretty fast. Some of them were really irritating, but
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
I've thought about it a lot.
All right. Good work.
Well, we also talked about how we're gonna try to do a bunch of it today, right?
Yes, I've been kind of waiting for Steve to get finished and Milo, but I'll go ahead and
Are we not going? We can.
no, I want to. I'm available.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's try to pound some of those out today. And get it over with. Because if look, now we're gonna add a trio, so now you're gonna have to do that too. So, try to get that stuff out that you can and then just kind of go from there. You guys down in Eugene, who's with Pacific Source?
Me.
Okay, Milo, are you signed up for their, I know they're having some training, webinar trainings this next week. Have you signed up for that? Have you seen
No, I
that?
have such a slew of emails. I should probably today or tomorrow just go through all my emails and sign up for like there's probably a ton of trainings that I could attend in the next week.
Yeah, so maybe just do a specific source search on your email and see if you can, because I think she sent out like
Okay.
links to the training and see. I'm sure you can attend those because they're just webinars, so there's not like
Yeah.
it's not an in-person thing. So all right.
Don't see any yet.
Yeah, and so Steve, just try to get ready for the test, get going on it. The sooner the better, and we can get you going on some of this stuff, and um, we'll kind of go from there. And
Okay.
then hopefully you can make it up on Sunday, August 20th to the barbecue.
Okay.
You know, it'd be great to see again and whatnot.
I'd love to do that. I'll see what I can arrange on that.
Okay.
Wait, and I think you said Providence at first and then you said Pacific Source. Did you mean Providence?
No, Pacific Source. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I seen-
Providence has already has a link, and you just go in there and you go to their training.
Yeah,
And
because I see the training for Providence. I don't see
Yeah.
anything for Pacific Source.
yeah, Pacific Source has a webinar one-on-one training. I don't know what they call it, but one-on-one training. It's a lead training.
If you
Uh,
forward that to me, I could, but I'm not getting that.
Etna has one too. Isn't that right, Liz? Does you have to attend their thing?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So they have that too. So you might want to look at that as well. Are you with that now, Milo?
I think I'm trying to be. I have the application.
Okay. You haven't.
So
Okay.
I was thinking of doing it for
Because they're
this
not.
next
They're
day.
gonna be in Lynn County next year, so
Yeah.
that might be
Okay.
something that you can sell down there too. So.
I think I have the application mostly done, just kind of sitting. I haven't completed it yet.
Okay. Anything else? You guys got any questions for me or something that you want to talk about while we're here? Feel free.
Thanks for your support.
You're welcome. I'm glad to do it. Glad to see you guys start growing and stuff. It's exciting. So
You're going to be there on the 29th, right, at Bill and Tim's?
I'm planning on it. Yeah. No. Oh, that's another
You
thing.
sure it's the 29th?
Yeah,
Bill
Bill
and
and 29th.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I have the mail here that I received. I can check it.
on your agent core, I did on the ones that went through the website, I did get them tagged. So maybe we'll just review that real quick. So here's one. So this is Derek. This is see, it's tagged for the 29th. And all you do that is you just open that person's file, and then you go to add tag, and then you just put in the lunch date. So you had another one's the 24th, right? So you could put the 24th in there and just click on it, and it'll show up here. And that's all you do.
Those, I think, is the 22nd, Milo, or 21st?
It's the 22nd. Yeah, the Florence is the 24th. I just opened it. It's pretty good
Okay.
quality.
So yeah, so remember to tag those as they get in, and as I see them come over the email when they RSVP. So I think you have I saw the one that you sent, but if you go, then you can kind of come in here and let's just do 29th. So you just click on this, and then it shows everybody that you have attending. So it's easy to make a RSVP list down here. You could go down to reports and print everybody by just that tag. And and whatnot. So those are the three that I tagged yesterday. You might have more, but you may want to just go in there and tag them. And it's real easy, quick and easy to do. So be helpful.
Are you guys talking about a lunch and learn?
Yeah. Yeah, they have several lunch and learns coming up, couple in Eugene and one in Florence.
And when they RSVP, is it going directly into Agent Core or are you putting it in there?
No, it does not go directly in
Okay.
there. That would be nice, right?
Yeah, it
But-
would.
I get an email if they do it on the website. I get an email, and then I forward the email to them to input it in the Agent Core, or I'll input it sometimes if I have time.
I see an issue. Did you were saying Bill and Tim's is the 24th?
Oh, 29th.
29th? Okay. Okay, good. I thought you said it, and I thought it was wrong on the flyer for a second because I saw it 29th on the second. We're good then.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
All right. So yeah, so just make sure that you get those tagged, and that will be helpful for that. But yeah, it doesn't go directly in there. You have to do it yourself, whatnot. But then when you call or text, it'll be recorded in their file. So that's kind of nice too. So
What is the newspaper ad that you and Regina are working on?
oh yeah, so we're planning on, here, I'll show you that. So we're doing
For some reason, your screen is not refreshing
There we go.
with me.
there
Oh, there
go.
we go.
So we're putting together a newspaper ad. Heidi okayed it. We're just waiting on some of the dates and times, but I think we're gonna do something at the City Civic Association there.
Oh,
This
great.
one, just a regular one. She had like, this one is like I don't know, where the Republicans are meeting or something, event or something like that. So they've I don't understand it completely, but we're gonna do one then. And then she's trying to set something up at the Elks Lodge.
Okay.
And so we're gonna run the ad in the King City paper, and then it also goes into the Tigard paper or something like that.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, and you could do something too, just like that if you wanted to. And so I kind of think that this is kind of where we probably need to focus on AEP, start doing these events.
Mhm.
Since we're not gonna have some of the retail stuff. I mean, we can still get leads and stuff. But those are really hit or miss. So
Yeah.
this might be a better option. But yeah. So, and if you want to work with Regina on it too, you could see if she's open to that, or if you want to do your own, you could do that too. So just let
I'll
me know.
give her a call and see if she wants. I never know how does that work when you have multiple agents there?
I mean, we just try to do it as a team, right? And so, maybe you take one lead, she takes another type of deal, or if like if you have a relationship with somebody, maybe that's yours. Just work together with it. If you have some plans that, one doesn't have, maybe somebody has Aetna and the other one doesn't, and, I think that's a good fit for them or whatever. Just work as a team, right?
Okay.
I mean, just try to work together. In that
Okay.
situation.
Well, I'll give her a call and see if she.
See if she's open to it.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot like, so if you did the Safeway in King City, basically like it was last year, they basically had, I don't know, 12 agents in there, and they each had like a shift during once a week or something. And
Yeah.
so anything that would come up while you were there, you would, it'd be yours, right?
Right.
So that's just kind of how
And do you have to pay for that?
No, that one is free for United Healthcare.
Okay, I'll get in touch with Kathy, because
Yeah, see if
I could
she's,
do a couple hours a week.
yeah, there you go. There you go. I know Tiffany did it last year. And she got like a couple. I mean, you're not gonna get much by just one shift a week, but
Right,
you know, temper your expectations, but it could be some stuff that you might be able to get. And you might be able to do a little bit more since you live there, and then you might
Yeah.
recognize people.
yeah,
So
that's what I was thinking.
it might be worth it. Yeah. So yeah, for sure. Yeah, just do your outreach to her. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're gonna get any. She said they're not gonna get any of Fred Meyers, and real limited on that.
But yeah, the email with United Healthcare rep, they were saying it was short, but they're saying the same thing of just like, I'll update you as soon as I get it. They haven't gotten the list out yet, but that's also another thing that'll come up for me.
Yeah, it's looking pretty bare, but yeah, maybe there'll be something more down there. I don't know, maybe Lane County's a little bit different, but hopefully.
It definitely seems like, I'm pretty confident that it seems like they're gonna have something. I
Okay,
don't know what, but
yeah,
Milo, the way that I see it is if you network like with that pharmacist and maybe the VA place and some other places, your time spent there will be better than if you spend it doing a booth at Walmart or something like that. That's my
I would
feeling.
probably agree with that, but I would also say you could probably just do it all.
I'm just
I
doing
mean,
stuff, you know.
yeah, yeah, but
As long as you're doing something.
yeah. The one thing is, if you did it with the pharmacist down there and maybe the VA, is you might have a little bit more freedom on, like when you can be there, and make your hours, work for you. Whereas, the United Healthcare thing is probably going to be a set hours. They're going to expect you to go there every day at that time, and you're expected to show up for that. And so that can be, sometimes that we've had agents in the past, hey, I can't make it, can somebody pick up my shit, kind of thing, and that can be kind of difficult. You might have a little bit more freedom if you kind of, hey, I'm just gonna, be here, you're trying to be here on a regular basis or whatever, but you maybe can vary from week to week when you're there. So yeah, I agree with Derek on that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, thanks for attending, and we'll try to do it again next week, and go from there. And reach out if you have any questions. Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you, Kyle.
All right. You're welcome. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.